I want to welcome you all, and I'm going to try to stay on script. I had to write everything down because I have a tendency to go to the left and go to the right and get involved in a whole lot of things. So I want to make sure that I covered those things that are going to be important today. But before I start, I want to elaborate just a little more. The Southern Christian Leadership was founded in 1966 by Harry Belafonte and Sidney Poitier. It was formed to support students, believe it or not, in Birmingham that was conducting marches. It went to raise funds to pay for their bail to get out of jail, to pay for travel, and different incentives needed to be taken care of in conjunction with Reverend King. The movie Selma, I hope, has anybody in here seen the movie Selma? Yes. All right. That part with Snick in there with the young people that were kind of depicted in the movie as battling with Dr. King. The truth is that they were actually founded by Dr. King. Dr. King encouraged them to form, and a lot of those students is what the foundation assisted in protest. So we have evolved to more of a programmatic outreach, and we're very fortunate today. You guys are lucky. We happen to have one of our national board members here with us, and that's Dr. Lucinia Dunn. She is our Treasurer Secretary. Most of our board members are scattered across the United States, so we're so happy that she's able to be here and support us in a lot of what our outreach is going to be. My son, my knee baby son right here, showed up last night and surprised me from Florida. I'm so glad that he's here. I want him to stand up again because he's so handsome. Everybody crazy. Yes. And so our oldest daughter, however, we lost to one of those health disparities, and that was the disease of lupus, and it was very hard for us as a parent hates to lose a child. And so that's one of the reasons that we indulge in a lot of health disparities. Today we're going to focus on our Silence is Sinful initiative, and it was founded in 2008. It was launched when we realized that the disparities in HIV was horrific in the African American community, especially among our young men and young women. All of our programs undergird our foundation philosophy, which is quantum responsibility. And simply put, quantum responsibility is the active process of using innovation and creativity to responsibly empower individuals, families, and communities to take a quantum leap toward infinite possibilities and helping to build your community. So we know what quantum means, right? Leap forward. So we want you to leap forward in your responsibility. Moreover, we believe in mobilizing the next generation into transformational thinkers and world changers. Today, SEL Foundation works in conjunction with partners and affiliates throughout the country to build stronger communities. Its sphere of influence and interest has become international in scope because the human rights movement transcends national boundaries. Our Silence is Sinful program started off very small, but now we have 5 regions. We have regional directors, Reverend Joe Fincher in Savannah, Georgia, Minister Kendall Richardson in Dallas, Texas, Reverend George Shaw in Chicago, and Bishop Ernest Sutton in Elizabeth City. If you notice, all of them are ministers. And the reason why that is because Silence is Sinful is keyed on the church is what's silent. And that's sinful, that they don't recognize the fact that their congregation is dying every day. And many times I tell pastors, women is the largest component of your congregation. They make sure that you have those tithes and offering. So if they're not there anymore, who's going to support you? And if you have a young lady in your congregation who's 13 or 14 years old who brought a child forward to be christened, that same young lady could get HIV or any other sexually transmitted disease because she was having unprotected sex, which is how she got pregnant. Okay? So that's an untapped area that we kind of concentrate on, partnering with churches. And we've also branched out to other community organizations, but that's how we started, and that's how most of our regional directors are of the clergy. We have recently signed a national spokesperson, and that's the activist, Mr. Johannes Miles. Mr. Miles was recently in Two Guns and in Host and the Inn. He was in Two Guns with Denzel Washington. I think many of you may know the actor Johannes Miles. He's currently teaching at Jackson State University in Mississippi, and he is an alumni of Alabama State University. So he was going to try to be here today. I was hoping that could be a surprise, but he called me 2 nights ago and told me that he was in New York and he had to film and he wasn't going to get here. So hopefully he's going to come. We're going to have another grand opening, and we hope Mr. Johannes Miles will be here with his lovely wife, Kimberly, who is a former Miss Mississippi State and a runner-up in the Miss America contest, and she also does a lot of outreach and community work. So we're very excited to have them come on board as our spokespersons. We have in front of us 2 very, very important people. They're not important just because of their titles, but they're important because of the work that they do. We have Miss Kimberly Tarver. And Ms. Tarver works, is a partner, a recent partner with us in providing testing. Her main office is in Auburn, Alabama, but she comes here and she's going to be coming here 2 or 3 days a week and going to provide free testing. We're also working to see if we won't be able to get some testing for all STDs, which she's very champion for that. She stays on my back, but that's what you need to do. So she's going to explain how the testing process is going to work today. It's very simple, very confidential in how she conducts that. And so I'm going to let her speak in just a minute, but I do want to recognize this other young man sitting here as Dr. Stephen Gorman. He has done everything, and he did it with a 4.0. That's what is amazing to me. Not just an undergrad, his master's. He has just recently come back from St. Kitts, where he did a complete clinic and training there, and I'm going to let him explain a little bit more about that. But he's been involved in HIV/AIDS treatment and prevention since forever. I think 1986 or something to that point. Okay, so he has worked through a lot of the training and went to Ghana and provided HIV prevention and training over there as well. So we're just so fortunate to have him here. They tried to snap him away and send him up to Atlanta, but I just stepped right in there and blocked that a little bit so that we would have him here with us today. And hopefully, I haven't talked to him about this yet, but hopefully he's going to become our new hip-hop doctor that is going to address all the young people around working with HIV here. Because we usually change doctors out every 2 years. Dr. Corder is our hip-hop doctor on the East Coast now in the Washington area. And so we're hoping that if you're going to be floating around here a little bit, that you will work with us with that. So first, let me bring up Kimberly, and then we're going to bring up Dr. Gorman, and then we're going to see a very involved movie called Life Support, featuring Queen Latifah. Very intriguing.
Her title is Outreach Testing Coordinator that she's held for 2 years at the Unity Wellness Center, formerly known as AIDS Outreach under the East Alabama Medical Center Hospital. She provides outreach, testing, educational services, especially to the community. Mrs. Tarver has 2 kids, a son and a daughter. Mrs. Tarver will now come and give you instruction on the testing process for today's event. Ms. Tarver.
Thank you, Mr. Rock. The testing is very, very simple. We will be going in a private room and filling out paperwork and doing a mouth swab. The mouth swab you would do. In 20 minutes you will get your results, and then we'll fill out paperwork, sign some confidentiality forms. Everything is private and confidential, and you'll get your results. So that's pretty
All right. First of all, I wanted to say good morning and also commend Ms. Frazier and her staff for this amazing place. The facility is amazing. I have a history with Tuskegee. My mom grew up here. She was born here. My grandmother, I don't think she was born here, but she was librarian at the vet school in Tuskegee. My great-grandmother was asked by Booker T. Washington to come down here and help teach at the university when he was setting that up. So my history kind of goes deep with this town. I have a love-hate relationship with Tuskegee. I know, and I have kept tabs on Tuskegee just because my mom still lives here, even though I've been away. I just got back from St. Kitts in the Caribbean, where I spent 5 glorious years on the beach in the sun, and I miss that right now in this cold weather. It's ridiculous. But I have worked with the university in the past with another lady named Lynn Jones, where we tried to reach out to the campus of Tuskegee University. And in the past, there have been some issues, I don't want to say issues, between the community, the outlying community, and getting the students involved. And there needs to be an exchange, a greater exchange between the community and the lovely campus that y'all have here at the university. So that's one of the things that upset me the most, was that there was no back and forth, no bridging between the community and the school here. And so it's nice to see so many students from Tuskegee here today. Where are y'all? A lot of you guys are here. So go back and tell your fellow students that this facility is here. And I know that Ms. Frazier wants to reach out to the school. And if we can bridge that divide between the school campus and the community, that would be great. Even though I'm going to be moving to Atlanta in 2 weeks, I still want to work with this group, and I'm still tied to Tuskegee because I come back here and check on my mom. But I will do whatever I can to help with the organization, whatever y'all need me to do. I can be the hip hop master. Okay, thanks you guys.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna start that movie. And while that movie is going on, Miss Kimberly is going to start the testing. So even though you signed in with us, that has nothing to do with her. You still will be anonymous and confidential. It only takes 20 minutes, and that'll be while the movie's showing. And the movie is, we're going to have a Q&A after the movie, because I think it's going to raise a lot of questions in your mind about living with HIV, or how you relate to a person that is living with HIV.
Next, we will share with you a movie entitled Life Support. You Can't Live Without It. HBO Films presents Academy Award nominee Queen Latifah, Chicago, in a heartbreaking story of one woman's journey to the brink of self-destruction and despair, and her inspirational fight to regain her dignity and her family. Anna is an HIV-positive former drug addict from Brooklyn, desperately struggling with her past and passionately trying to make things right with her involvement in an AIDS outreach group. Life Support, inspired by a true story, is a touching, poignant tale of loving, losing, and letting go. Ladies and gentlemen, we present Life Support.
Before we even do anything. And then I just threw all that out the closet. It's too late for it.
Me and Slick used to get high together, and then he got locked up, and he called me. And he created this story about his friends in jail had gotten tested, you know, some of them, and they came up positive. And he thought that I should get tested. As soon as he said that, I knew it. I knew it. I was ready to kill his ass. I was ready to kill myself. I was ready to kill somebody, you know.
We have selfish. Oh, he loved me. You know, he would tell me. He wouldn't, you know. And I just told myself a whole bunch of bullshit. You know, just a bunch of bullshit. Because I knew that he slept with other women. I also knew that, you know, he shot drugs. But I was like, no, whatever. I guess in the back of my mind, I had this crazy thing about how I was just going to, you know, prove how much I love him and how much better I was than the other women that he had. And I was going to just show my love. I was so stupid. And sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night mad at myself. I be like, girl, you're so dumb.
I was young. He was older. He looked nice. I asked him. He said no. And that was it. The condoms were sitting right there in a basket. They were sitting right there. All I had to do was pick it up and open it. But because he didn't have that look and Come on, I didn't even know what the look was.